Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back with the one wheel, two wheel. We are currently in Harlow. And yeah, we've just been to the sports bike factory. Not a bad shop, but it's got so much real estate and so little stock. Yeah, it's got some good stuff in there, but it's just, yeah, a little bit empty. So yeah, I mean, it weren't too bad. And then I popped to Greggs, got myself a couple of sausage rolls and a few chicken bites. I'm still kind of getting over the flu. Ah, shit on it. Let's get in here. So yeah, had a bit of lunch, getting over the flu. Yeah, feeling quite a bit better today. So yeah, I thought I'd nip out on the bike, go for a little jolly, make a video while I was at it, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, so I just thought I'd come over to here, have a look about. I've been meaning to buy some winter gloves, but still ain't got around to it. Still got my summer Dionysius, and they're so comfortable, and that's the problem. Is yeah, alright, got the heated grips. They do tend to keep my hand fairly warm. But yeah, just thought it might be nice to get some actual proper waterproof winter gloves. I don't know. Ah, yeah, that's probably going left. Alright, we'll stay in this lane. So yeah. In the last video I was talking about my spiritual experiences, and I mentioned about my father being a standing like pub landlord, so therefore I got to spend some time in some pretty damn old pubs, you know, each one having their own bit of weirdness about them. But there's one in particular. So I went up to stay with my dad for the weekend, and my dad was married and remarried again after my mum, and yeah, so I had a stepbrother, stepsister, stepmother, and a doggo, Pepper. I love Pepper. Pepper was a fucking brilliant dog. Border Collie crossed with a Springer Spaniel, so it's about as nuts as you can get, but loved her to bits. Fucking brilliant dog. So anyway, it's night time, pub's closed, late at night. My father, oh sorry, I should explain that this pub is like a long shape, so it's like a long building, long corridor on the middle floor. I think they'd had some roof troubles in the past, so the top floor was inaccessible because all the staircase was rotten, so I believe they had some sort of water damage. They'd had the roof replaced, but they hadn't bothered fixing the water damage that had occurred to the property. So yeah, there was only the two floors, the ground floor where the pub was, and then the middle floor, which was the living quarters for the people that run the pub. So yeah, I think I was sharing a bedroom with my stepbrother. Natalie had her own bedroom, my sister, stepsister, and father and dad at the other end of the hallway. I think on the other side of the hallway as well. But the bathroom was right at the end of the hallway, so you had a living room at one end, bathroom right at the other end. So my father has heard footsteps coming all the way down the hallway, and not thought too much of it. He probably thought it was one of us getting up to have a piss. But then yeah, he'd heard the footsteps go back down the hallway and then come back up the hallway, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, surely the kids, you know, obviously it's a new property to all of us, you know, so therefore my dad gets up, checks to see that we were all absolutely sound asleep. We thought, well, that's bloody strange. Had a wander around, you know, he obviously didn't hear the stairs, so he knew that whoever, whatever it was, hadn't gone down to the pub or come up from the pub. He just heard them walking up and down the corridor. So he checked the dog was still asleep, not even budged, not bothered. So he thought, well, even if it is something a bit spiritual, if it's not affecting the dog, it's not affecting him. So he left it. And over the course of the next few days, the pub itself started to smell. And it's like, huh? But it smelled of like oil paints, like old school paints that you don't really use anymore. You know, you don't use paint with lead in. You don't so much use the older style paints that really stink. A lot of paints nowadays are water based. Yeah, sure, there are still oil-based paints and that sort of thing, gloss paints, that will create a smell, but this was strong as fuck, you know, really strong. Like, to the point where some of the patrons were coming into the pub. It's like, oh, Ted, I know you're a standing manager, I didn't know that you were allowed to decorate and that sort of shit. He said, I'm not, I ain't been decorating. And they're like, well, why the hell does it smell so strong of paint in here? And he's like, yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it? I ain't been doing no decorating, no painting, but the pub stinks of paint. So anyway, over the course of the next few days, it just sort of continued to smell of paint. And then I think it's like a cribbage or a bridge night on a Wednesday. Some of the older clientele come into the pub, have a few games of bridge with their beer or whatever they're choosing to drink. And yeah, Dad got talking to one of these regulars that comes in to play his bridge and have his pint, and he said, oh yeah, the ghost is about then, Ted. And he was like, what are you talking about? He goes, what, are you telling me that you ain't heard it? And he's like, well, explain what you mean. So he said, well, normally the landlord will hear footsteps going up and down the corridor, backwards and forwards a few times, and think nothing of it, and then a day or two later the pub will start stinking of paint. And he's like, what? This is exactly what's happened. How the hell and what the hell are you going on about? He goes, oh, it's the ghost. And Dad's like, what do you mean the ghost? He goes, oh, the ghost. It makes his presence felt by stomping up and down the hallway, and then a few days later it'll do a painting. And he's like, what do you mean do a painting? He goes, oh yeah, there used to be an artist that lived here, and about once every 2 to 3 months it still does a painting. And he's like, what? Yeah, and yeah, he does an oil painting, and that's what the smell is. You'll never see the painting, obviously, because it's all in the spiritual land, but he said you'll get the smell, that's for sure, because I can smell it now. And so yeah, that explains the stink of oil and stink of paint, and yeah, the noises that he heard that night. So yeah, although that wasn't really one of my experiences, I was in the property while the experience was going on. Oh, what lane is this motherfucker in? Come on, man. So yeah, I think that's about it ghostly wise. You know, I did the churchyard, I did Banana, I did the Ouija board, I did yeah, my dad's pub, that sort of thing, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, spiritual wise, I don't suppose there's too much more that I know, I can think of. But yeah, they're pretty much my ghost stories, and you can think what you will. I believe what I believe. And yeah, that's that really. You can believe in what you believe in. Oh, that's the other thing, yeah. So, like I said, my daughter's all into that sort of stuff. She's a little bit strange, you know. Probably gets it from me and her mum, to be fair. We're both a bit different, a bit alternative. So yeah, I took her down to a place called, I believe it's either Tilbury Fort or Cold Harbour Fort, because there's two forts along the Thames in the south of Essex down near Tilbury, yeah. So we went there. Excuse me, still getting over the flu, and now I can't fucking see. Oh Jesus. So yeah, yeah, took her down to the fort to have a bit of an afternoon out. Obviously her being the spooky type teenager, she was snapping photos left, right and centre and here, there and everywhere. And yeah, when we got home, she's going through the photos and she's reviewing them, and she's like, look at all these orbs, Dad. Oh yeah, there sure were a lot of particles in the air that day, but you're in an old bunker, like an old underground bunker. It's a fort, it's surrounded, you've got all the turrets up the top from like the First or Second World War, whenever it was built. And the place is filth, you know, it's not kept like a bloody 5-star hotel, you know. There's dust, there's all sorts of shit. And I'm like, Robin, you're using a flash. And there's like 20 people being escorted around in this underground bunker. And what, you think that ain't a dust particle? No, that's definitely an orb. I'm like, right, if it was video and it was doing some very strange movements, then yeah, I might come round to the idea. But honestly, I have never seen an orb, even on these TV programs and all that can't be explained by a dust particle and a breeze. So yeah, I'm not too sure about orbs, but yeah, I am sure of what I believe and what I've seen. And yeah, comment below, leave me some of your stories. I enjoy it, I like hearing about shit like this. No, I'm perfectly happy in my house, whether it does weird shit and it is a spiritual thing, or whether it just does weird shit because it's an old house, you know. I don't know, and I don't care, because I like living there. It suits my needs, it's a reasonable price for the size of the property. Yeah, it's run down, yeah, it's got damp here, there and everywhere, and it's got some issues. Like I said, it needs some love. And yeah, it is what it is, you know. Like I said, as long as it doesn't affect me in any sort of way, then I ain't worried about it. So yeah, please, yeah, leave a comment, tell me some of your stories. Let me know your theories on spiritualness, ghosts, outer beings, whatever else, you know. Let me know, leave me a comment. I'll reply to all your comments. If you look back at the history and you look at the old comments, I reply to every comment. It's all good, baby. I got time to spend 5 minutes reading a comment and replying to it. I mean, I ain't got time. I've never got time for nothing. It's a modern way of living. You've never got time to do nothing. And me being a teenager in a 50-year-old's body, like, I've always got shit to do. Even like today, it's like, oh, I've had flu all week, I need to get out on the bike. People would say that's recreational, I say it's mental health. So yeah, that's it. But yeah, the bench is coming on, all the wood is cut to size, it's ready to be painted, so I think I might do that this afternoon, is get that painted, get the holes drilled out, get a nice coat of exterior wood paint to protect it, take it all to bits, do all the metal. yeah, do all that jazz, you know, get that all situated, get it all looking nice. It's a start, isn't it? That is a start. But yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about, so I suppose I'll end it before I start waffling crap. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'll figure out something else to talk about, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.